One of my fondest memories playing video games as a kid was playing Gold Rush. This was the first Sierra game I actually played, and honestly, it made me fall in love with the company. So this game actually really struck my fancy and sparked my imagination. I'd never experienced anything like this before. The fact that you could make several different decisions in the same scenario and come up with different outcomes. This was, I would call the equivalent of one of these open world games that you have today, because it was so expansive. The fact that that you could just go out and explore and literally just sit there and just dig and dig and dig, and every once in a while you'd find little nuggets and stuff. It was just the funnest game. And it starts out, you get a letter from your brother, and you are going to have to go try to meet him. And it's the coolest thing. You look at the letter, you read it and stuff, and you can actually peel the stamp back, and there's a little flake of gold. He basically had given you a hint that he had struck it rich in California. And that was the start of the game, and it just kind of really got me excited and intrigued about the potential adventure that did ensue. This was such a clever game, such a creative game. And I mean, you could take different routes to get to the destination, and there's different dangers and stuff that could befall you on the way. You actually get eaten by giant ants in South America if you make the wrong decisions at one point. I mean, it was such a fun game to play. The different ways that you could die in the game, and and coming up with the right strategies to be successful. It was a game that really had some replayability, because you could take overland voyages, you could go by boat, you could do all kinds of stuff. And at the time that this came out, I mean, I was used to playing like Frogger and Mario Brothers. Something like this, in my opinion, as a kid, was just leaps and bounds over what you were seeing as far as the sophistication of the game went. And it was something that I had loads of fun. My brothers did too. And it really is what got us hooked on Sierra and King's Quest and some of the other game series that they came out with. This was the heyday, I think, of Sierra, with Ken and Roberta Williams and the games that they developed. This game was a beautiful game to look at too. It hasn't really aged well as far as the visuals go, but at the time, I'd never really seen anything like it. We played this on our old Tandy computer, which you guys know about. So this game was a first in a lot of ways, and like I said, it really introduced me to these adventure type of games. And again, it kind of introduced us to the company of Sierra and some of the great franchises that they came out with as well. This is one of those that I don't know. I could put this thing in today if I could get Jay's Tandy working, and I'd love to play it on that original system that we owned. I don't think we actually had a mouse until the 90s. But I think that was part of the charm, part of the challenge, is actually sitting there with a little directional pad and trying to get things to go where you wanted to. I think it was part of the challenge, and honestly, if I were to play it again, that's the way I would play it, the way I did growing up. It's one of those memories that I'm always going to cherish.